What's going on, everybody? I'm going to be making a quick little trade recap on the trade that we took in the Discord today. Pretty straightforward stuff, pretty textbook stuff, but to be honest with you, I want to start uploading more recaps to YouTube for you guys and possibly Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I feel like it could really help people. So let's get right into it. What kind of happened overnight is we were selling at 7 a.m. here. You can see we started to sell, right? And we put in these 15-minute gaps. Now, let's align this with higher time frame, right? We have an hourly gap that's put in. What's going on in terms of the weekly analysis, right? We've been selling off. We put in inversion here. We put in a BPR. We came in, respect this BPR, continued to move lower. Now, what had my eyes this morning is, let me go into the Discord here and bring this up, is obviously, typically we're waiting for the first 15 minutes to build out, and then we kind of evaluate what price wants to do, right? We don't trade the first 15, 20 minutes because there's a lot of kind of manipulation going on. There's kind of a lot of invalidations going on. It really, what you want to do is just wait for price to build out and show its kind of direction or trend. So as usual, right, we have our draw that we liked in mind down here at this ES low, right? And once we had this hourly gap, this is where I was formulating that validation is, okay, if we want to respect this hourly gap that we put in, right, which is, went a little too forward. Here we go. Okay, there we go. If we wanted to ignore this, that already played out. Actually, let me go back. Right, if we wanted to respect this gap, I would expect us to move lower, right? And even more so with this hourly gap put in on the weaker asset, right? Since ES is a lot closer to this low, I don't want to see that gap get tapped into. I mean, it could, right? But ideally, us not tapping the gap is showing how weak the indices are, right? Since ES is the weaker asset. Now, what we could see here is also, if we come and validate this gap, I could see us pushing back up, back into the range. That was another thing that I was looking at, which I was also, describing in this here, right? So this 1 hour is really giving the validation. Now, digging to the 15-minute, we have two 15-minute gaps that were put in, right? And as we can see here, this is still 8:45, so let's go a little more. There we go, right? So we dig into this gap on the 15-minute. Oops, this stuff just keeps moving too fast. We're digging into these higher time frame gaps. The 1 minute is showing that structure is kind of moving off the opening price, right? 930 here. We're just moving up. Now we start to see price start to align with that higher time frame trend, right? And the timing is there. Now, I was paying attention to this 1 minute inversion here that I was looking to flip, or 1 minute gap to flip, as you can see right here, right? Liking this for this 1 minute gap to get confirmation. Now, what do I mean by confirmation? It doesn't mean confirmation on one indice. It means on both, right? They're correlating assets. I want to see confirmation on both. So if we go to the alert section here as well, right? Awaiting for confirmation, right? We're waiting for ES to close below its gap, and we're waiting for this. Now, obviously, since ES is the weaker asset, I'm going to short ES, right? That's the most logical thing to do. So I'm waiting for closure below that. We get closure, and I will describe our exact plan. I will post the executions as well somewhere up here, and we are targeting that draw. Now, this is where I said I was in, right? And then we were looking for this 5 minute structure to possibly also get the closure below, which means there's really nothing stopping this, right? Structure is 100% on our side, and there's no reason to not hold, a good size position into the draw. We get that confirmation, right? Price moved beautifully. It was fluid, right? And following our plan as normal with our model, we're looking for that low a day to get met to possibly take a partial, but not only a partial, but to obviously trailer stops to break even, right? That's the plan, and let the rest ride. So as you can see here, right, low a day, we'll go break even, 5 minute close below on both. There's nothing stopping this. Partial sum and BE, right, take some more off once NQ hit low a day, and then trail stops 843. Now, 843 is right here, right, which is obviously in the green of our entry. Now, the reason is because after sweeping this ES low, right, there could be some SMT possibly outplays out a little bit more, so we take low a day. This could be where we sweep the low a day and we come back into the range. That could possibly, since we've been selling off this whole week and we're at the bottom of the weekly candle, we could easily pop back into the range for the rest of the day. I had that in mind. We don't have to take that draw on liquidity, right? Obviously, we knew we were on side, but I wanted to put the, stop there for a reason instead of just holding the BE here. So 843, we have that invalidation since we tapped in that gap. And at this point, we were just holding the rest into the draw and we just moved beautifully. Now, after sweeping the draw, you could see that we tried to move a little bit lower, right? We were about, I think we were down like close to a little bit higher than this. I think this is in real time, maybe. We tried to move lower. We were kind of just chopping around. Really didn't do much. And that was pretty much it. We started to move back into the range for the, I guess, into the rest of the AM session. And honestly, I was all out of positions at this point once we took out this draw, because that is the clearest objective. My biggest advice for most people is trade what's in front of you. Trade what's clear. Don't try and anticipate too much, right? This was a very textbook, easy setup. It was like almost like, I don't even know how to describe it. My sister could take this trade. There's really nothing to it. And I will also post the executions here as well, right? Executions, we got the 5-minute inversion on top of that, and that was beautifully done. So pretty simple, pretty textbook, nothing new, just another day. I will start to upload more of these recaps for you guys. You obviously seem to like them and you get a lot of information out of them. So I appreciate you guys showing the support, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.